Today is Friday, October 14th. I'm Liang Huang reporting from the newsroom of China Daily's New York office. This week on Across America. From the Los Angeles bureau, CNN reporter Mike Chinoy, who just returned from his 15th visit to North Korea, said the country is following the Chinese road in economic development and social change.
It used to be literally empty. I mean, you could just go around and never see another car on the street. Now, that's changed.
From the New York bureau, Valerie Amos, United Nations Under-Secretary General for Humanitarian Affairs and Emergency Relief Coordinator, visits Shanghai and Beijing this week. Chinatown's Museum of Chinese in America hosted a panel discussion on October 6, titled The Yin and Yang of Contemporary Asian American Culture. From the San Francisco bureau, Cornerstone Academy provides a Confucius classroom program to elementary school students to learn about Chinese culture.
Is a mystery. We know very little about him. We know that he attended a private boarding school in Switzerland.
Veteran CNN reporter Mike Chinoy talked about whether North Korea is following the Chinese road on October the 6th at the University of Southern California, U.S.-China Institute. Chinoy just returned from his 15th visit to North Korea earlier this month. He said North Korea has changed a lot over the years. Chinoy used to describe the society as misery, malnutrition, missiles, and mania. But now the aims are money, mobiles, markets, and motor cars. Chinoy said North Korea reminded him of China in 1977, the turning point from the Cultural Revolution to the opening up. Recently, the country allowed the Associated Press and Reuters to start offices in Pyongyang. China Daily Los Angeles bureau, Wang Jun reports.
United Nations Humanitarian Affairs Chief Valerie Amos started an 8-day trip in China on October the 11th. Prior to her first China trip, Amos spoke to China Daily about her China mission, where she will visit Shanghai and Beijing. Amos praised China's experience and enormous progress in emergency preparedness and disaster risk reduction and said other countries regionally and globally would benefit from China's experience in this field.
And given the enormous progress that China itself has made in dealing with these issues nationally, we can build on that experience and utilize that experience regionally and globally. And I really want to explore with the Chinese authorities how we can do that.
China is the 7th largest contributor to the United Nations peacekeeping operations and has engaged actively in the UN humanitarian efforts, including contributing to assistance in the Horn of Africa, the Haiti earthquake, and the Pakistani floods. China Daily New York bureau Zhang Yuwei reports.
Manhattan Chinatown's Museum of Chinese in America hosted a panel discussion last week titled The Yin and Yang of Contemporary Asian American Culture, featuring 3 provocative Asian American writers. Wesley Yang, author of the controversial Paper Tigers article published earlier this fall in New York Magazine, Jean Yang, the award-winning graphic novelist, and Jeff Yang, author of Secret Identities, the Asian American Superhero, and former columnist for the San Francisco Chronicle. Taking questions from audience members, the panel covered a variety of subjects, including the pros and cons of Asian parenting styles, what role Asians in more traditional career paths can contribute to the dialogue, and the evolving nature of Asian American representation in the mainstream media. Wesley Yang spoke about perceived Asian masculinity as addressed in his Paper Tigers piece, which he is expanding into a book. In an interview with China Daily, Jeff Yang spoke about the changing conversation about Asians in America.
Well, this conversation has taken a very different form. We're talking now about not just reactions and traumas and things we have to overcome. We're talking about opportunity. We're talking about ways that our ancestry and our heritage empower us and our next generation. And I look at my son.
Kelly Chung Dawson reports from New York.
Cornerstone Academy is the first Confucius classroom set up by Confucius Institute at San Francisco State University. Sponsored by Hanban, the Chinese National Office for Teaching Chinese as Foreign Language, Confucius Classroom strives to provide feeds of cultural activities and facilitate interesting lessons to motivate elementary school children to learn about traditional Chinese heritage. The teachers are all native Mandarin or Cantonese speakers, and they utilize interesting teaching materials to engage the students. As of nowadays, parents recognize the emergence of China and the importance of fluency of spoken Chinese. The principal of Cornerstone Academy, Mr. Derek Wong, believes that this program is indeed a very important step in strengthening students' knowledge in Chinese language.
In addition to the language, we also teach culture and traditions here as well. So they get, to learn more about their Chinese background and hopefully come to appreciate, their heritage.